TPA Back to School Nutrition Group. My name is Stacy, and I'm going to take you through a meal prep day, what I get ready for the week, and what I eat throughout my work day, and what I do when I get home super late from work. So I hope you enjoy. Super simple. I am just going with asparagus, little potatoes, and then a ground turkey. This is 93% lean and then 7% fat, so it's around 8 grams of fat per 4 ounces, and around 20 grams of protein and 0 carb. So I will show you how I get this ready. It's nothing really special. It's pretty simple, but I think it's always good to see how other people season and get their food ready. So I will put the asparagus and potatoes on these pans with tin foil. It's a little bit easier and faster to clean up. So I'll put tin foil on those, and then I will get all of these washed and ready. Something I will do with the mini potatoes, cut them in half. I'll put them in a bowl, and then I will put a little bit of avocado oil and put the seasoning on it. So avocado oil actually is better, it's more heat tolerant, so I use that. I will measure out how much, just because this has 130 calories, 14 grams of fat per 15 milliliters. So 15 milliliters is not really a lot, so you don't want to really be overpouring with oils. These don't really need a lot, so I usually try to get like just a few grams. It's not anything crazy. And then I will put whatever seasoning on this week. It's this all seasoning rub. And I'll close this up, and then I will shake it around to get the oil evenly distributed. And then it's pretty much even. I will throw it on a pan, spread them out a little bit, and then I will do that until the pan's full. It's usually about 2 of those tubs, and that gets me through the week and a little bit extra, so if I get home from work late, I can just grab some potatoes really quick. Again, these are just the mini potatoes. I get the big bag from Costco. You can pretty much buy them anywhere. I've seen them at Walmart, but you can obviously get more for your dollar if you buy in bulk. So for these, again, I just split them in half, and then I put a little bit of avocado oil on them, seasoning, shake them up in a Tupperware, and then just pour them over. I will cover these for a little bit more than half of the time they're in the oven, just so they don't get too dried out, and then I will take the top off of the top tin foil for the last 10 minutes and let them get a little bit crispy. Now I'll get the asparagus ready. This is pretty simple. I just wash it, put a little bit of oil on them, and then seasoning, and then I will spread them out in this pan. But before I do that, I will give the potatoes a head start because they obviously take a little bit longer to cook. So I will get those in the oven, and then I will get the asparagus all prepped up. Here are the asparagus. They're all washed, spread out on the tin foil. So veggie roaster seasoning, and then you might be wondering how are you going to actually measure out the oil you use, because the veggies are already here. I can't put this on there. So what I'll do is I'll start the scale zeroed. I'll take the entire bottle. I'll throw it on. So it's 449, and we'll see how light or heavy my hand is today. So just kind of go across, and then I'll put it back on, and it went down to 445. So just 4 grams, nothing crazy. Then I will take this, do the same thing, just go across them. And nothing too fancy. I'll just kind of roll them around to get the oil kind of spread out on top of all of them. And then I'll spread them back out so they can kind of cook evenly. And then I will cover these as well. I'll put them in the oven. They don't go as long as the potatoes. And then I'll take the top off to have them get a little bit more crispy. I just like to keep things covered because it keeps a little bit more moisture in my food. So next I will cook the ground turkey. I don't do anything really special to this. I don't add a lot of seasoning just because I have seasoning on the other foods. Again, this is the 93 and 7, so every 4 ounces has about 8 grams of fat and around 20 grams of protein. I really don't do much special to this. I will just throw it in the pan and then get it cooking. So here is the ground turkey. Again, nothing special, no seasoning. I'll just kind of break it up, and then once it's done cooking, I'll let it cool down a little bit before I put it in my containers for the week for lunch. And I will show you that and how I break everything up, and I will explain what I eat when I eat it. The turkey is just about done. I did take the tin foil off of the asparagus. It's about done. I really don't, I mean, I will set timers, but I just kind of check the food to see where it's at, and then it will get pulled out. They're still a little bit raw, so we'll leave them in a little longer. This is just about done. So turn off the stove, just kind of let that hang out, cool down, and then I will portion that off. Okay, so the ground turkey is done. The color does not look appetizing, but it actually does taste pretty good. With this, it is cooked now. When you cook foods, they lose water, and some can regain water depending on how you cook it. So like rice would gain water. So the weight is going to change. What I've found is through experimentation, this loses about 1 ounce. So if I want to eat 4 ounces for the week, I will put 3 ounces in here because of the water loss. So I will portion that out for 4 days, and then I will let the asparagus finish up, and the potatoes will be added last. pulled the asparagus out. I'll let that cool for a little bit on the pan. My ground turkey is all portioned out for 4 meals. With asparagus, I found that it doesn't lose a lot of water, so I'll measure this in grams. So the difference between a raw asparagus and a cooked asparagus, I really haven't found that much of a difference. And to tell you the truth, the carbs in this is not a lot. So if I'm off by a few, say a margin of like 3 to 5 grams of carbs, I'm not going to fret for the day. So this will be the same as a raw measurement for the cooked. So I've cooked some before and I found that it doesn't really change too much between the raw measurement and the cooked measurement with this food particularly. Okay, so I did lie. I am going to put this seasoning on the ground turkey. It is a Parmesan and a black garlic seasoning. It does have 350 milligrams of sodium, so not too crazy, but it still does have sodium. So if you do decide to get this, don't go too wild with it. Potatoes are done and they are out cooling. Again, with this food and this potato particularly, I have not found a huge difference between the raw weight and the cooked weight. So when I measure this for my meals for the week, I just measure it the same as if it was a raw food. So I'll let this cool down a little bit more and then I'll portion it off and I will show you how I finish up my lunch for the week there. So here are the meals all portioned out for 4 days. 250 grams of little potatoes, about 100 grams of asparagus, and then the 4 ounces of meat or 3 ounces cooked. When I make my meals, I like to cook extra. So these are just the extra potatoes. I will keep them in the fridge for the week and they are just a quick go-to if I'm in a pinch at any point. I also have more ground turkey in there and asparagus. Also with this meal, I will add in this sauce. It does have a lot of fat, so you do have to watch. For 32 grams, which is 1 serving, it has 10 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 0 protein. So I will add just 10 grams into here. So it's not the full 10 grams of fat, but it's just enough to kind of give it some flavor and not go too crazy. So here's the finished product, and this is just one meal for me throughout the day. But on the topic of sauces, be careful when you go places and there are sauces, because a sauce can have a lot of calories. Things like ranch have a lot of fat, so just be careful when you are eating out. I know the Chick-fil-A sauce is a huge hit with our team when we go out to eat, but that sauce does have a lot of calories. So just make sure you're being smart when you add sauce. Okay, so for the day, my work day right now in September usually runs from 10:30, 11 to around 7 or 7:30, depends on when we actually get out of the office. So after I am done at the gym, I will have a breakfast, by the way, but after I'm done at the gym and I get into the office, first thing I'll have 1 banana, I will have a yogurt for my protein, and then I will work. For my lunch, which I usually eat around 2:30, so a little bit later, I will eat the meal that we just made. So the potatoes, asparagus, and the ground beef with a sauce on it. Before practice, before we head down to the field for the day, I will have a sandwich. So I'm obviously not gonna eat the entire loaf for lunch right now, but I will make a sandwich, and I'll usually do about 2 ounces of ground turkey, yeah. I'll do 2 ounces of this turkey, and this is from Costco. It's really good. And then I'll do a slice of cheese and then 2 slices of bread. That will be around 3:30. And then I will actually leave the office about 6:30-ish. By the time I get home, showered, it's almost heading towards 8, so it's kind of late for dinner. For dinner, I like to have things on hand, so This week I picked up the Amy Lou Paleo 3 Pepper. So I have that on hand, and that's 9 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 17 protein, 150 calories. I also have all of the food that I just cooked. So I have the potatoes extra, I have the asparagus and the ground beef. What I like to do is make a huge salad from this spinach and just put whatever I need in it. So I'll put a huge bed of spinach, and then I will add as many carbs as I need. So usually potatoes, or I'll have rice. And then I will decide on the meat that I'll use. So if I have a little bit extra fat, I'll use these. If not, I'll go back to the ground turkey, or I'll split a patty in half. So one last thing I want to share with the group on my meal prep days is we all get in a pinch, and sometimes we do not have our meal prep done for the day because maybe we were doing something fun on Sunday and we didn't have enough time. So this is my microwavable go-to. This is rice. It's microwavable, 90 seconds. It has water, rice, and gluconic acid, so not a lot of ingredients. The Uncle Ben's rice typically has more, but it's better than eating a different carb that isn't so healthy. So I will go with this. My protein will be something that's fully cooked. So this is pretty easy. I just grab one of these, throw it in a plastic container. I will throw this entire thing in my lunch pail. And then this serves as 2 things. This is not only a vegetable, but if you look closely, this is also my ice pack because it's a frozen vegetable. So I will literally just throw a patty in my lunch pail, this in my lunch pail, and then I'll throw this on top. And when I get to work for lunch, I will just microwave all this, and I will have myself a pretty decent healthy meal without having to eat something like fast food. So I hope you enjoyed this meal prep with me on Sunday, and I hope you have a great week.